Hi everyone, so this is just a quick summary of what we covered in week 1 of trends, controversies and issues, and just to make sure that we're all clear and walked away with the key points that we covered in the tutorial. Those of you that didn't attend, I'm Ruth Jeans, I'm the Chief Examiner of the unit, and I'll be co-teaching the unit with Di Barnett, who will be involved in all the sessions, so you should get to meet him soon. Any queries or questions about the unit though, please direct them to me. Di's only on campus a day a week, so it's easier if everything comes to me and I can make sure that you get a quick and timely response. Okay, so key things that we covered on Tuesday. Probably the main thing that we did was get into groups for our first assignment, so if you weren't there you need to get that organised ASAP. People that were there have got themselves sorted in groups and they've got organised with a week that they're going to do their first assignment. As we talked about in the class, the first assignment is a peer teaching assignment, and we talked about quite a number of tactics and things that we needed to do to succeed at that assignment. Have a listen, there's another short video where I talk through the marking criteria for the peer teaching assessment, so have a listen to that, and that just talks you through exactly how you're going to be assessed and what me and Di will be looking for whilst we're looking at your peer teaching session. In terms of the sort of content, I guess the key things we covered was looking at what are trends, controversies and issues at the moment, and we had a bit of a class brainstorm. And we looked at this at a sort of global, national level, and what issues are affecting society at the moment rather than just within sport or outdoor recreation. And there were sort of various responses. We talked about global issues and national issues such as poverty and hunger. We talked about racism. We talked about drugs and gambling came up as different examples. So we were all able to produce ideas for what are the key things that are sort of hitting the media at the moment, what are the key issues. We also talked a lot about environmental issues, global warming, environmental degradation, and sort of had a chat about those and those wider things that are quite big in the press at the moment. Once we've done that and we've sort of got the global picture, the wider scale, we then started to connect to issues of sport and outdoor recreation. And I should stress at this point that the unit does have that dual focus on sport and outdoor recreation, and we also have a focus on physical education as well, given that many of you are training to be PE teachers. So with each theme and topic we'll cover each week, we'll try and put a dimension on it that makes sure that your particular area of interest is covered. So each theme can be adapted to issues within either sport, within outdoor recreation or within physical education. And for your peer teaching, we really encourage you to select the theme and then align it to the area of interest that you have. So if sport's your bag, align your theme for the peer teaching to sport. If you're really interested in exploring issues in PE more, then tailor it to PE. It's really down to you. But the thing I stressed on Tuesday was this unit is very flexible, and you can really use it to pursue and gain knowledge on your specific field of interest. Just got my notes here, checking that I say everything I need to say. So yeah, we then we connected these broader issues to sport and leisure, and we were discussing how the various topics we'd raised link to sport and outdoor recreation. So we talked about racism and how that's very prevalent within sport, and the issues, talked about the Adam Goods issue last year, and the indication that racism still is quite strong even within sort of professional sport that's been trying to use various sort of tactics to reduce the number of racist incidents. Drugs and gambling again aligned very closely obviously to sport and outdoor recreation, and we talked about how you know, even within major sporting events the adverts for Bet365.com come up all the time, and it's just very sort of in your face and key issue. What else did we talk about? We talked about environmental issues in relation to sporting mega events. I think it was Alice who mentioned that she'd been working at the Australian Open and just the waste that happened there in terms of water bottles and dealing with the heat, and no recycling of the millions of water bottles that were used during that event. We talked about things like the building of cycle lanes and how there's a sort of a positive and a negative for this, in terms of positive supports the population with getting active, but the negative impact the building of those lanes has on the environment that the lanes go in. So we covered a lot of topics there. We then moved on and talked about our specific topic for the peer assignment. So as I mentioned, each group was allocated a week. It was drawn out of a hat, so each group was allocated a week, and we had a bit of a brainstorm around what sort of things they could present during that week. Key thing here, and to emphasise for those of you that were also there, we've got two groups presenting each week on the same theme. Now you won't necessarily cover the same topic, or you won't necessarily position your theme within the same issue, but you do need to have a chat as a group with the other group to make sure that you're not delivering two peer-led sessions that are exactly the same. So please remember that. Have a chat next week with who's also on your week with you, and make sure that you decide to, you know, we're going to focus on this and you're going to focus on this, so there's a different focus. I guess the other things that we talked about in terms of the debates and making sure that you do the peer teaching well. The peer teaching, it's not about sort of didactic doing a presentation, it's about stimulating discussion and debate amongst your peers. So you need to take your theme and sort of align it to quite a meaty, controversial issue or topic or case study, and really present with that. You need to present something where there's two sides of an argument that you can argue for and against in regard to that issue. So one of the easiest ways to do this is to sort of pose a question at the start of your tutorial, of which there are multiple answers, ideally at least two, so you could argue for this side or you could argue for that side, but something where there's no straight answer, so it's going to sort of foster debate and discussion. So we had a range of topics that we discussed. So we talked about things like mega events. Mega events are a good thing because they promote sport and physical activity and lead to economic benefit and the building of infrastructure for countries. Now there's very convincing arguments on both sides to that sort of statement, so that's just an example of one of them that you could do. So you need to look at what your theme is for the week and really start to drill down and think, okay, well, what case studies could I use to explore this theme? What's going to be our key question that's going to stimulate that debate? And then for the assignment, it's down to you as the peer teachers to actually manage that debate and discussion within class. I think that was pretty much it on the first assignment, other than to say that Di and I are available the whole way through. If you want help with your planning, if you want to check what you're doing is on the right lines, please organise to see me outside of class time. Talk to Di immediately after class, or you can arrange to see him before class as well. So please talk to us and make sure that you're on the right lines. It's a great assignment to do really well in, but if you go off on the wrong track, then it could be a disaster, and because you're having to stand up in front of people, it's quite an uncomfortable disaster as an assignment if you don't get it right. So use us, let us help you, and we can also talk with others in the class and, you know, get ideas and suggestions, so please do that. Okay, just finally, we also talked in brief about assignment 2. So assignment 2 is a book review. Now this needs to be a review of an academic book that connects to a theme or topic that you're interested in and reflects the issues that are going to be discussed in the unit. So if you're not sure what constitutes an academic book, please get in touch. A great place to start is looking at the publisher Routledge, they have a huge collection of sport, outdoor recreation and physical education academic books, so have a look through there. With this, just to stress, it has to be an academic book. Anything to do with sports and physical activity that's sort of autobiography or biography or sort of more speculation rather than having an academic grounding is not going to work for this assignment. So if you're not sure, get in touch with me and I can give you guidance and push you towards an appropriate set of books to maybe select. The other thing I advise students to do is not to pick an edited book if possible. If you have to, then that's fine, but edited books are quite tricky because each chapter is in itself usually an individual theme or topic, so reviewing it becomes quite difficult, whereas if you've got a book written by one or two authors that's coherent and the theme runs all the way through, it's much easier for you to review and really get to grips and critique the themes and topics contained in that. So we'll go through this as the term goes on. We're having another study skills session on writing a book review at the end of the semester. But because it is a full book and you will have to read the whole book to review it, I'd advise that you sort of start getting on with that now, you know, and break it up a chapter a week, and then it should be read by the time you need to actually do the review. So I've asked, there's a forum on Moodle, I've asked on that forum that you indicate what book you'd like to review. No one can do the same book as another student, so once you've got it on Moodle, it's your book to do, so make sure that you post it up there. If you don't post it up there and you do the same book as someone else, you will get a 0 for the assignment, so it's pretty critical that you do that and get it posted up. Once it's up, so long as no one else has posted it before you, then that's your book to review. Okay, lovely, so hopefully that's sort of everything and just refreshed everyone's memories on what they're supposed to be doing. We've got some tasks that we'll do in week 2 and I'll be contacting you all shortly with regards to those tasks and what you need to do for that, so look out for stuff going up on Moodle on that. Okay, hope you all enjoyed week 1 and look forward to seeing you in week 2.